Simon & Schuster AudioWorks presents Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh, I should have saved my yawn for before we started. Max, have you pulled all of your money out of the bank?
Nah, I'm just gonna let it ride, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like if I pull it out now, then I'm gonna lose too much in terms of like, you know, I don't want to be a bother for the banks, you know? I feel bad. I'll be like, you know, walk in there, I'll be like, can I have my money? And they'll just kind of look at me like, really? And I'll be like embarrassed, you know?
Yeah.
To get my money out of the bank, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't want to be a bother. That's what I'm saying for the banks, because they have there's just like that money doesn't exist in an account anymore, right? They invested it in things. So it's like I feel like I would do a lot of I would make someone work a lot, you know, doing that. So I don't want to do that to them, you know.
That's very polite of you. I went and got mine this morning.
Yeah, that's good. All £23.
There were a lot of
savings.
people in line, but I just told them I was a banker and I needed to get ahead of them to get to work.
to get to the counter, right?
Yeah. I just need I was just like, excuse me, banker coming through.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get up there. The issue is a lot of them tried to grab me and say, "Can you get me my money?" But I said, "You gotta go to the desk, sir."
Yeah.
And then I got to the front and I said, "Give me all my money."
Yeah, that's good. That's good that
I had to use a different name as well because it wasn't my turn, you know.
Wait, what for to get? So you didn't even get the money out of your account? You took the money out of a different account?
No, I did. I used a different name and said, "Can you get them all from this guy's account though?" Which was my account.
Oh,
no, I'm not gonna rob a guy.
Okay.
I guess I did kind of rob a guy because after I did that, it sounded like they ran out of money.
Oh no! You were the last one in.
Yeah.
That's good.
The last chopper out of wherever Saigon.
That's good. Saigon, yeah, that's a good analogy. Mm-hmm. So, what are you gonna invest the money into now? That because cash is gonna also become useless at some point. You gotta reinvest it into something else, right?
I think pigs is on the up.
Pigs. That's
pigs.
Like literally living pigs, like alive. Yeah. Okay.
Well, because if I have 2 pigs, give it some time, I got a whole lot more pigs.
That's true. That's a good investment.
Give it a bit more time. I got triple the pigs that I started with.
Yeah, I'm gonna
probably more than triple actually. Probably quintuple the pigs I started with.
If I pulled my money out, I would probably. If I had the chance, because too late now, it's gone.
Oh yeah, it's gone. Yeah.
I would probably invest in retro video games. I think that's a good investment in the pos kind of, you know.
Nostalgia is always nostalgia doesn't go away in a recession.
Yeah,
if anything, people are more nostalgic.
Exactly, that's true. And it's like, you know, whenever you have like an apocalypse movie, any sort of like apocalypse, there'll be a guy in there, and he will like. Ravaging through trash, you know, like just, and then he finds like a Game Boy, and he's like, whoa, this reminds me of the world before all of this happened, you know.
Exactly, gives it to his child. Like we had these back in the years of plenty,
and then raiders kill the father, and then the Game Boy becomes the
back of the Game Boy is like permanently stained with like a little spray of blood.
A spray of blood. Yes, exactly. And
it's got the Game Boy Hunchback of Notre Dame game in it.
It's just the worst game that you can. Yes,
that's the game.
The kid plays it. He's like, this sucks.
He's like, yeah, there's nothing else though. I guess I'll keep playing this
because it's like cool when you get that sort of stuff, because it's not only is it reminding of you of the time before the bad times, right? But it also reminds me of the good times in the good times, you know. So you get that double, you know, multiplayer, you know, triple even. I don't know.
It's a good analogy.
Yeah.
I'm rethinking. Maybe I'll invest heavily in like trash.
Just a dump.
Piles of trash and they can then charge people to root
To
through.
root through, yeah.
Yeah.
Loot box.
They're like
That's what you're saying.
$5 an hour to root through
You're
the
gonna
trash.
do
10 cans of food to root through the trash.
You're gonna do loot boxes in the apocalypse.
Basically, yeah. Essentially. Because that's the thing. If everything is trash, you want to be the guy who owns the trash.
That's true. Yeah.
And they got to come to you.
Yeah.
There's supply and demand. Mm-hmm. The people want to root through the trash with their fingerless gloves and stuff.
Yeah.
Find like a half-eaten sardine, cartoon fish bone or something.
Yeah.
I want to be the guy who's got that. You come and get it. Go to root through the bags, man.
I would wear like a lifesaver. You know those lifesavers that you throw into the water?
Yeah.
And the things that you put on your arms, the sleeves, like the blow-up sleeves. That's what I would wear in the apocalypse.
That's your.
That's my.
Well, it's not really apocalypse. It's more like recession
Yeah,
core.
true. Recession core is a good recession.
Depression core.
I want to. In the future, people are gonna be nostalgic about it. They're gonna be like, "I love this outfit is coming back," you know. And it's a guy wearing a lifesaver and blow-up sleeves and a like a pot on his head, you know, or something like that.
The thing is, we don't really have like barrels anymore, unfortunately, to wear. So I'm gonna have to get like some flat pack furniture.
Yeah,
and then like attach some suspenders to it, you know?
Yeah, an IKEA like table or something.
Yeah, or like a Billy bookcase.
That's
like,
true.
and then like just hang all of the different shelves off of my body to cover up my bits.
Strategically, it's always they're so strategically placed, and no matter from what direction we look at you in the shot, you're always all your bits are always covered.
Yeah,
all the
and it's
bits.
like armor too.
It's also an armor, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna protect my trash economy that way.
Yeah, that's true. You're not gonna. Are you gonna invest in some guards to guard your dump, or are you gonna be like just so?
There's needless overhead. Needless
overhead. No, because that's the thing. Is the cool thing about having a dump is not only do you have like the business, right, that you run, but also if you learn the layout, you're always an advantage, right? Because it's so complex. You can always have a jump on someone, whoever tries to invade your territory, right? The dump.
Exactly.
So you're like, they're like, we gotta get him, and they're like sneaking in, and you come out of the toilet, you know, and you shoot them with a sling or something like that, you know. And they're like,
exactly.
what happened? And you hit back in, you know, you're somewhere else already, but you changed location, you know.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even have to add on any jokes onto that. You got it all. I think that was it.
Any jokes? What do you mean? We're joking? I thought we're just saying what we'll do in the recession.
Yeah, I think these are good strategies.
Yeah, I'll create my own nation and become a nationalist of that nation.
You become a self-nationalist?
Self-nationalist, yeah. And I'll get people to join.
Okay.
Give out passports and stuff.
That's a cult, right?
No, it's fine. It's fine. Because
I think that's like literally just what a cult is, right?
We'll have like
self-nationalist.
We'll have an election in like 30 years, you know. Because that's the thing, you gotta stabilize first, you know. I understand. They did my citizens understand that it's like, you know, it's a bad time, you know, for an election, so we're gonna push it further, you know, until everything stabilizes. We kind of grow a little bigger, you know, stabilize a little bit, and then we do an election, you know, and then you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's just like the economy of the old world.
Exactly.
When there was plenty, you know.
There's plenty.
When there was plenty. And there's not plenty anymore.
Do you think that because like some apocalyptic media like Threads, for example, or Cloud Atlas, they showed this degradation of language that happens in the apocalypse. Do you think that's going to be the case?
Well, that was not, no, because in Threads it was because of fucking, like, they were like, everybody, all the children will be stupid from now on because of radiation.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's why
true.
there was a degradation of language. It's not like there was a cultural shift in the language. It was just that in Threads, the children that were born were, like,
Dumb?
generically stupid, you know?
I thought they were just dumb because there was no school.
No, they would play tapes, remember?
Oh.
There was a bit when they would have rudimentary school.
That's true.
And then...
Brainwashing, you mean?
True. And then, what was I going to say? You remember what I was saying before about how Threads, it was only in the UK that was like that, everywhere else was normal during I think that was what the recession will be like. I think America and the UK will be like Threads.
Yeah.
Everywhere else will be like generally pretty normal.
Yeah, yeah. But I'll stay in the UK, although I could go to other countries, but I'm this is my country now. I love it so much.
You can't escape. They're going to send you, if you try and go back, they're going to send you back and see like, oh, now you come here.
Yeah.
Now you come crawling back.
Yeah, they'll be like, no. Before you immigrated here and now you want to leave? Like, what the fuck, you know? That's like the worst way to do it, you know?
This is why when British people leave their country, they call themselves expats instead, instead of immigrants.
Yes.
Because if they truly describe themselves as an immigrant, they'd never be able to go back. But an expatriate's like, well, I can become a patriot again.
That's true.
I can return.
Flip the flag again.
Exactly.
Patriot.
Leave Spain.
I love Spain.
They do love Spain.
They do love some. We saw in Naked Beasts. What's that movie?
Sexy Beast.
Sexy Beasts, yeah. We saw having a little boy that takes care of your pool.
Like a protege.
Yeah.
It was like he was a stand-in for a son.
Yeah. I don't know.
He was a bit of a father figure to this young Spanish boy.
But he didn't, like, teach him stuff. He was like a
servant. He was like... Yeah, but he was like... He was lenient with him. He let him, like, hang out and stuff,
That's true. And they did go to that, like...
And he sort of taught him how to be hard, basically.
Yeah,
because he was a big, proper English gangster.
Yeah, that's true.
Big, proper English gangster.
The biggest export of the Britain is hard. Being hard is the biggest export.
Think that's the best gift we've given in the world is being hard. Being hard.
Yeah.
Proper Danny Dyer. Hard.
Because, like, that's the thing, you know, like, what I realized that by watching just media on, like, just interacting in the UK is, like...
And we do love media here on Dead Ensigns, the #1 podcast about whatever the media. I'm Ben, this is Max.
Yeah, this is me.
Continue.
I
like doing the intro and looking at my waveform and being like, oh, that was a quick... I can see the start and finish of that intro all within, like, 5 seconds. I'm like, that's clean. That's like a speed run, you know? Anyway, continue.
You've knocked me out of the flow of the thing that I was saying. But
I'm talking about British media being hard.
And being hard and stuff. Because, like, that's the thing. Being hard in the UK is like, you know, you kind
it's a dime a dozen.
You see them, you know, you're kind of, you know, like these people are kind of like, it's like a aesthetic, you know, on top of that. Like, you can tell someone's hard, you know, like you look at them. But, like, that's the, from where I come from, you know, in Eastern Europe, that's the thing about it, is that you don't see them being hard. They just, like, beat you up, you know.
There's not enough hard blokes out
there. There's no hard blokes. They just beat you up instead, you know. Like, there isn't that, like, you kind of can tell that someone's hard, you know. That's why it's so dangerous there. It's because they don't...
They've taken being hard and evolved it into a secret art.
It's camouflaged in a way, you know. It's not people don't communicate it as much, you know. It's not
it's
an
like
aesthetic.
a sucker punch. It's not honorable, is what it is.
Yeah, that's true. It's like
dishonorable.
Being odd,
which
is
shows
like
that it's not hard. If you're dishonorable, you're not hard.
Being odd is like a new Knights. like
It's
code.
what we've replaced chivalry with being hard. Chivalry got replaced with being hard, Being hard is kind of the evolution of Bushido.
That's true.
You
That's
know?
true. Yeah,
It's kind of like how Bushido evolved into being hard.
yeah, exactly. And that's what's cool about it. And I watched a movie about being hard. We both watched it, right?
Yeah, I rewatched it.
Yeah,
I'd seen it I've seen it before many times.
and we watched
A classic piece of British cinema.
This is England. That's what we watched. England.
England. It's like
England.
baby talk now.
Yeah, I guess.
That's not very hard.
Because I'm not hard. Yeah.
You gotta be hard.
This
You
is
gotta be a nationalist. Back when nationalist was like a little more under the radar, I guess.
Yeah.
You could say nationalist, and some people would be like, "Well, that sounds like that's like being patriotic, isn't it?"
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but it was triggered by Stephen Graham.
Yes,
right. The idea of
quite
watching.
hard.
He was triggered by Stephen Graham. Us watching Stephen Graham in adolescence, and then.
Well, you
Ben
said
being-
I haven't really seen him in anything except
Did I?
for Boiling Point, I think.
Yeah,
and I was
that's
like,
alright.
you got to watch more Stephen Graham things like This Is England,
Yeah,
and you
I
were
watched
like, okay, and then I forced you socially
That's true.
via this podcast to watch it.
It was
And you didn't.
underhanded. Yes,
It was
in a way.
underhanded, yes, entirely.
In a way, it was underhanded, and
Yep.
yeah, and it is
It
a really
wasn't
good
odd
movie.
of me. It wasn't odd of me.
It was scandalously of you.
It was scandalous.
Skullduggery.
It
Skullduggery.
was skullduggery. It was skullduggery. What a
Of
good
you.
word, man.
Skullduggery, or roguish. I don't know.
I'm partaking in some skullduggery.
But yeah, and yeah, I liked it. I really liked it.
This is England.
I
Sean
really,
Meadows.
I like the sort of aesthetic, right? Because like the time? What year is this
skinheads.
supposed to take? Like 70s,
82.
82, 80s,
Oh.
yeah. I
No,
really,
'cause
yeah.
yeah, I think it would have been 82 because then the TV shows are like 84, 86, and
Mm-hmm.
no, this one would have been 84 because then it's 86, 88, and then 90 is the last season of the
okay,
TV show.
yeah. Okay, yeah. Because I forgot that there's TV shows.
The
and stuff.
skinhead,
Yeah.
a movement co-opted by fascists.
Yeah, it is.
They used to just love
interesting.
ska,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, scan,
You
checkered
know,
shoes,
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. That was a bit
trumpets,
after the
and
time,
stuff like that.
obviously,
Yeah. And then
a variation of reggae music brought over to
Yeah.
England by the people of the Jamaican islands and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Evolved
and then taken.
and co-opted, and then that in turn was co-opted by nationalists who hated people from Pakistan.
Yes. Why do you think is that? Is it because it had like such a uniform, like there was like that cutting of the hair, like you kind of in a way have like a uniform, you know what I mean? Like it's
I mean,
like
the
it's
movie,
a signifier in a way. I don't know.
Yeah, the movie's all about feeling directionless, directionless anger,
Angry and
angry.
and
But I mean, I don't know. I guess how does any nationalist group incept to people? I think it's less about like a style and it is more about emotion. Because I mean, you look at the way pipelines work. I think one of the best, most recent ones is like gamers and Gamergate. As a pipeline.
yeah.
It's all about emotion. It's about utilizing another person's emotion and then funneling it towards your own ideals, molding
Yeah.
it into your own form of hatred and ideals.
Yeah, you direct it basically.
Yeah,
you go,
exactly.
It things suck, and it's because of this thing, and a lot of it is just point at the minority and go like, yeah, it's because of it's their fault, you know.
Because of those guys. Focus on those guys while we butcher and chop up the country for money. And resources.
Exactly. And even
Just
in this
focus on
movie,
those guys though.
after Stephen Graham's character Combo, which is a pretty cool name. Combo,
it's a good
pretty
Everybody's
good nickname.
got a good nickname in this movie.
He takes them to this nationalist kind of rally. I don't know, like not rally,
It's
just like a meetup. It's
like a little meet up where there's some kind of government official.
It's like exactly. It's like a politician basically. They're like rallying them up.
Their ideas and stuff, you know.
Yeah, and it is pretty funny. Like there's that kid there with them because it's like I think 4 people remain or something like that. It's the little kid and two of the group that
Sean.
these.
And then you got Gadge.
You're reading
And
their name.
they're all like, no, I'm not. These are off the top of my head.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And they're taken there by Combo and Banjo.
Banjo
being the guy that Combo met in prison.
Yeah.
Because he went to prison for I can't remember the name of the other character.
Woody.
Fuck, what was it? Woody. That's right.
I've read it off of a list.
There you go.
Yeah,
no, I mean, we don't need to spend too long. This movie's like fucking 16 years old at this point or something.
Yeah, but
more than 16. Well, probably more like 18, nearly 20 years old at this point.
Yeah. It's pretty 2006. I mean,
this is a classic bit of. This is if anybody were to ever ask me, give me a bit of British cinema. Cinema. I would be like, well, this is England. So fantastic place to start.
There is this scene in this movie that made me kind of laugh a little bit. Is the first time Combo kind of gets introduced, and there's that scene of them sitting in the sitting in that room.
He's telling that racist story about prison, and it's playing the sad music.
It's like because it reminded me of whenever you make a joke about me and where I'm from and screwing in a light bulb, and I just have to like chuckle.
I've only done that once, and that was last week, and that's the only time I've ever done it.
I have to look down and shuffle my feet a little bit, and then I see it's shot in a way where you're in the background and you're moving your hand in like a way as if you are screwing in a light bulb, and you're mouthing.
Can you take the audio from last week and layer over the song from the movie, like slow down me talking?
And you're mouthing.
Give an example of Max's mind.
How many does it take? How many?
I can't even remember the context. It was something I can't remember. I seriously can't remember the context.
You
remember making a joke though. That's the only time I've ever done that. And you're already throwing it against me. Damn. Fuck. I guess I'm gonna have to become Combo now. It's
an amazing performance by Stephen Graham. Every single
see
time
what I'm saying, man.
Appears on the screen.
That's why I wanted you to watch it.
The atmosphere is just immensely tense. Like every
Combo
single...
he always feels like he's ready to pop, and then when he finally does pop at the end, it's like ugh.
And it's like very brutal. Like the way they shoot it, it's like it is kind of, I don't know. It feel like a lot, even media that's like supposed to be brutal and kind of like critique brutality, right? You know what I mean? Like kind of shoot the brutality in a way where it's like really glorifies it a little bit. I don't know. It's like, but this way
it's graphic. It's graphic.
This way it's so graphic where the Milky is just like he's completely defenseless and he's just wailing on him, and it shows that like this like just anger and violence, you know, that he's pouring into this person.
It's sad as well.
It's incredibly sad, you know,
it's horrid.
And it's so just insane. Like Combo is like a complex character because he is like this nationalist, right? That's why. But he immediately feels remorse. Like he feels like he like the thing that he's done isn't like, you know, like he. There's a very
clear. It's a very clear through line of it. It's what sends home the directionless anger at the end
Yeah,
of the day. You know?
exactly. Yeah, that's
Because
true.
the start of that day is Combo finally like goes to see Lol. It turns out that they've like before he went in, he slept with her, and he romanticizes this like to an insane degree. Whereas for her, it was horrible because at the time she was like 16.
Yeah,
And he's like 32.
yeah. He's
So he
an
was
older
like maybe
guy.
29 having sex with this 16-year-old. And for him, it's this like magical evening that he
Yeah.
held on to all throughout his prison time.
Yeah, that's
He
what got
loves
me
this
through
girl.
it. Yeah.
But for her, she's immediately just like, that was like the most horrible night of my life. So I
Yeah.
was 16. And I just want to forget about it.
Yeah.
And that then puts the anger in him. He meets up with Milky later and he wants him to get some weed with him, you know? And they go and smoke it. And it's nice at first, but you still always have that tense feeling
Yeah.
because Stephen Graham is there, Combo is there, and you know he's a raging fascist.
Yeah.
And he's hanging out with this descendant of like Jamaican immigrants,
Yeah.
Milky,
And
and he's just asking him really simple, straightforward questions, and it just gets to the point where it's like he's jealous that he has nothing.
yeah,
He doesn't have love in his life.
Yeah,
he doesn't,
exactly.
He doesn't have what he feels like he's owed as a human being.
Yeah, he's like Milky says. It's like, oh, I have this big family. You know,
Yeah.
like he has all of this stuff. Everybody kind of is together. You know, even if
And he
it's,
wants-
yeah.
And he wants Milky to justify his hatred. It's a great scene because he's yelling this abuse at him about his family and stuff.
Yeah, it's
He's goading him. He really wants Milky to come and just start like hitting him so he can fight him back.
yeah,
But he doesn't. He just sort of smiles because, like, you, the viewer in that scene, you're like, you understand him entirely now, and you realize that he's weak.
yeah.
He's got no power. The Bein is a facade. A facade. He's got a facade of Bein.
That's rhymes. That's bars.
Exactly, that's what I was going for. But then he ends up, beating the shit out of Milky.
Yeah.
In frustration.
In frustration. Yeah,
Rage.
it's in like childish
Smashes a
frustration.
bottle over.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
And it's like Banjo gets up. He's like, oh, I want to have a go. It's like it's dumb. Like this, he's such a like dumb oaf, like just wanders around, racist oaf that just follows Combo around, and he's just like
the one that you get the sense of like he's the one who's like properly a fascist. But by the end of the movie, you understand that Combo's obviously a horrid person, but it's out of like. It really is just like a directionless anger and weakness that's in him. A lot like, because that's all mirrored obviously in the main character, Sean, who is he's in that pipeline on his way to being Combo.
Yeah.
His dad died in the Falklands and he's just mad. He's just mad about it and he doesn't have anybody to turn to, and then
nobody understands.
And then the racist skinheads come to him and they say, well, you can turn that attention to Pakistani people who are coming in.
Yeah, true.
And taking our resources from us.
Yeah.
And it's sad. And then at the end, he throws the not the Union Jack, St. George's Cross into the ocean.
Yeah.
Sad. It's a sad.
It's a
movie.
very sad thing. Yeah, it is very sad. And
Did you like his girlfriend smell?
Yeah, it's just so, I don't know. I guess because I've read up a little bit. Apparently, directors he based a lot of that stuff on his own life, and I was like, I guess
it's a
different times,
it's a very
different
of the
times,
era
maybe.
thing. Yeah,
Different times.
It's like to bring it back to a director we'll be talking about in a bit. It's a bit like Licorice Pizza, where it's like it's like this 15-year-old kid trying to get with like a 19, 20-year-old girl and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I mean, at the time, it's like, I mean, even today, people will become infatuated with people who are much older than them. It happens. But it's like, at least now we're more in the mindset of like, you just
don't do that. They're problematic and the different stages of life, and it's just completely like
you just gotta let them down easy. try and push them in a better direction of people their age as opposed to your age. But there's all that stuff. I completely forgot about all of it because it is very like it's not
really related that much to the plot in a way. Like
no,
it's
well,
not,
it
is, but it's
not to the main plot, but it's all part of the main like theme of the movie, which is coming of age, and this idea of like he's aging rapidly in this group. You know?
Yeah.
He's being pulled forward in time by these people who are a good deal older than him.
Yeah.
On average.
Yeah.
Like the closest person to him in age is Gadget, and that's only because he's still in school because he was being held back or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, But I mean, at the same time, it's like at first it's good because he's not got anything else in life,
Yeah.
He's got no dad, he's got no male role models, he's got no community to be with, and then he finds something that he's happy with. He enjoys being with them.
And that's why Andrew Tate is needed, because young kids don't have male role models. They all died in Falklands. We need Andrew Tate. Release him from prison right now.
He's not in prison, bro.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
They took him. America was like, we'll take him, and Romania were like, okay, yes, sorry, here you go.
Yeah, but he's gone back to Romania now, I think. Oh, it doesn't matter. Fuck him. It doesn't matter. Let's move on. It doesn't matter for him. But yeah, what else have we watched?
Good movie,
wanted
right?
to watch?
Good movie.
England. And I also like, I don't know, I feel England as an aesthetic is pretty cool. I find it more
like
and
80s
more.
England.
I feel like it has like the specific feel to it. Like I've been
the unnamed north of England.
I played
Midlands, really.
I played Atomfall recently too, and that also has like the kind of British, just like 1950s more right aesthetic. And I realized it's like it's fun. It doesn't get explored.
It's because the thing that gets explored is the like southern, specifically like London area, like Greater London area of England is what gets used in things.
Yeah,
but it's a pretty rich country. There's lots of different areas with lots of different feelings and various degrees of violence.
I'm talking about more about looks rather than actually what's happening in places.
But I get what you mean in terms of looks. Because I was when I lived primarily in the south of England for all my life, and then I came up to the north to live, and it does at least, especially in like suburban areas and stuff, you get the sense of like it feels very different, Not like a different country, but like there's a lot of what's the word, like not genetic, like
genetic, what the fuck?
No, like cultural, that's the word.
There's
like cultural
there's genetic demons and monsters.
Cultural variation between like these areas.
That's the thing about the UK in general. You got
and Europe as a whole,
regional accents and
there's
stuff.
There's a lot of like regional cultures and stuff all across Europe. Something that's missing in America, where it's all just one big. There's like 4 regions in America.
They have the like Central America. They have like the South. They have East and
Sorry,
West
let me
Coast.
say United States of America is what I meant. North America. But you got Midwest, West, South, and like North. Those are their 4 cultural regions. And if you're listening to this and that pissed you off, send me an email about it at deadensigns@gmail.com.
And we'll comment on it. And
we need the attention.
Maybe you'll make a good point and we'll go like, all right, yeah, that's a good point.
That's what usually happens is I get even the slightest bit of pushback and I was like, yeah, that kind of right. But then later on I think about it again and I'm like, no, you know what? Fuck that guy.
And you're angry about it.
But it's too far gone, so I don't bring it up. I'm angry about it and I have some terrible ideas. I go and meet my friend Banjo about it. We have some chats about.
He just follows you around.
He was just kind of following him around. Good movie. It was England.
It was.
It was indeed England. A classic, a British classic.
Classic from 2006.
I think I'll rewatch The Virtues as well. That's only like 4 episodes, but they're all an hour. But that's another like grim Stephen Graham performance.
Yeah.
Where it's like just a hard watch. The kind of media you watch and you're like, I should ring my nan, tell her I love her.
I love you, Nan.
Nan,
I
how
love
are
you,
doing?
Ben. I'm your Nan. Do you want some cookies and cream? That's what she sounds like, right?
No. Also doesn't offer me cookies and cream. Have you ever had a glass of cream?
No.
That would be disgusting. Man.
I don't
Why is it cookies and cream? Is
I
it
don't
supposed
know
to be
why.
like you have cookies and then you pour cream on them?
I would imagine probably.
You dunk them in? But then the dunking
Dunkaroos.
implies that you like have a glass of cream, which is disgusting. Milk I get.
I
What a
don't know.
horrid saying.
Do you
Anyway,
want a
Max, how did
toad
you
in
think
a
of
hole?
Magnolia? Toad in the Hole's lovely. Shut up.
What about some
Toad in
fish
the
and
Hole is
chips?
great. Toad in the Hole is just... What do you mean? What's the problem with fish and chips? It's exactly what it says
I
on the
don't
back.
know. I'm just saying British things. Your nan wants you to have British things, you know?
My nan liked, or one of them, bagels. Is
Yeah.
usually what I would have if I were there for the night.
Because-
In the morning, I'd have like a bagel.
Because
which
if
was
you
nice.
made that joke about me, you would be like, come have some pierogi or something like that, right?
No, I
And,
wouldn't.
you know,
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
I don't know. With the history that
No, I
we
wouldn't.
had,
No.
the things you said before, I feel like that's what you would say.
I'd like to formally apologize.
Would you like to have a light bulb in a sandwich?
It doesn't make any sense. If anything, she'd be like, please come and help me put this light bulb in. Right?
And I said, I don't know two Polish people.
Oh, no. No, you can't do it. You can't start doing it about yourself because then everybody's going to be really mad about me doing it. It's like, look, he's internalized his own racism because of Ben.
All right, yeah, whatever.
He's being offensive to himself because Ben's instilled it in him. He's normalized it. I'd like to formally apologize. That outburst last week will never happen again. I promise.
Doesn't matter. All right, let's move on. To
Max, what did you think of Magnolia?
Magnolia?
Magnolia.
Magnolia.
What a dense film it is.
Yeah, indeed.
About life. About
Coincidences.
relationships, coincidences,
What is it
relationships
called?
so you have with
Regret
people.
and forgiveness.
Fatherhood.
Yeah,
A lot of fatherhood in there.
yeah,
Beautiful movie.
yeah.
What did you think, Max? What did you think, Max? What did you think, Max? Stop giving us dead air, bro. Come on. What did you think?
I don't know. I just thought I wouldn't respond for a second because I was going to say something, and I was like, "What if I just don't say anything?"
You gotta look. The dead air joke works once, twice. You're pushing it. I'm not letting the dead air bit go on 3 times in a row. It's not. Dead air is not happening.
I don't know. It was. I really like this movie, but I for some reason I don't know why. But at one point in this movie, I was thinking about adaptation. You know, with Nicolas
Sure.
Cage, because I thought
Yeah.
it just kind of. I don't know. This is me being an idiot. I just thought that. You know, the movie that it turns into at the end, where it kind of pastiche is like the kind of like, oh, something is supposed to happen in a movie and it's supposed to have this structure, right?
Yeah, sure.
It feels like that's Magnolia is kind of like that movie that it's at the end of an adaptation, you know? I don't know why, but I really like this movie, but it's just for some reason I thought it was such a like movie, you know. Magnolia is such a movie, you know.
it does feel like it. You especially after Hard 8, which you didn't watch, and Boogie Nights. This does feel like Paul Thomas Anderson being like, I may never get the chance to make a movie again, even though
Yeah.
it was probably like late 20s when he made it.
Yeah.
It feels like this is I'm firing on all cylinders.
Yeah,
I'm putting everything I want to say into this thing.
I think he literally even commented at some point that this is like, I'm not going to make anything better than this. Like, and this is like after making, like not even finishing it. And,
His magnum opus.
yeah, and I don't know. It's such a, like, that's the thing. That's the, like you said, it is like, the more I think about this movie, the more I'm trying to, like, all the comments I make, and I think of, like, I was like, oh, I should rewatch this movie again.
I'm hesitant to talk about it just because I'm like, I feel like I'm going to say something stupid.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, there is just so many strands, because basically within each character there is multiple,
and they're all connected.
They're all connected, and each kind of
Some way or
tackle
another.
a different thing, right? They and it just each having like completely different themes, you know.
William H. And they're also like strange. You have like you have fucking John C. Reilly going on a date with the lady who's addicted to cocaine.
Yeah, she loves cocaine.
And then at the same time, you have William H. Macy, who's like getting braces to try and attract the guy behind the bar at like a local bar.
Yeah, because he's lonely. But at the same
They're
time,
all but everybody's lonely.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Everybody's
but the
lonely.
thing is that he's like, but was like a kid that was like on this show where
Exactly. He was on the show, and then you have the other kid who's currently on the show. And
exactly.
He doesn't want to keep being used as entertainment.
Yeah, and then it turns out there's
Nobody's
like a
treating him fairly.
There's a line where they're like, didn't you get hit by lightning?
He did get struck by lightning.
He's like, I used to be smart and now I'm dumb. I was like, okay.
That's why he couldn't compete anymore. That's why he works in like a radio store.
Like a Radio Shack, yeah. And he's, and then you have the frogs fall out the sky.
The frogs, it starts raining frogs. There's a lot of biblical references.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact verse that is referenced.
It's like 8:16 or something like that. I don't know.
Or 8:12 or something.
Yeah.
And there's a person in the crowd a person in the audience for the game show that's holding a sign with it. Instead, there's a lot of references to this verse.
Yeah.
It's such a dense movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like I gotta. It's like I really just feel like I have to watch it again before I can even start to comment on it in any way that doesn't make me feel like I'm being a moron.
Yeah,
You know? But that's movies.
Yeah.
That's what I love about movies.
Yeah, and all the performances are amazing in this movie.
Yeah, great. I got a sense, not to say that they're bad, but it feels very stiff in some cases in a very intentional way. Like it feels very scripted. Like the dialogue maybe doesn't feel too natural, or the delivery is very unnatural, as though you can tell somebody's like reading a script. But I don't say that in a sense of like, oh, this was bad because of it, but more it felt intentional, you know?
Can you think of an example?
Kind of unnatural. Do you remember the bit when John C. Reilly is talking to the little kid?
Oh, yeah, and he's like...
And it's cutting rapping, back and forth between them. The kid is rapping, but then all of John C. Reilly's lines and the kid's line feel very, like, rehearsed, you know?
I did kind
and
of...
And there's just bits like that where it's like... And I don't bring it up in, like, this was bad or poorly done kind of way. It just stood out to me as something that felt intentional about the performance and the way it was edited.
I feel like it's like there is that kind of weird heightened reality in this movie too. Like,
well, I mean, it rains frogs.
It rains frogs, and it's really funny that the kid is sitting there and he's like, "This stuff happens." Like he's like unsurprised. Like that's the funny thing about it. He's like unsurprised because he was reading like meteorology books before he went onto the show, so he would have read up about events like that happening, you know, and he's the only person that's kind of unfazed by the event, right? Because he's like, yeah, these things just happen sometimes, you know.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's character is also kind of like, he's also like, this stuff happens. This is this is a thing that happens.
Yeah, because I think he's doing crossroads, I think, crosswords, I think, with when he sits, and maybe that's a thing that could, but whatever. Anyway, as a nurse that just kind of has to sit with a patient, he just reads up stuff. But Tom Cruise's performance is like insane, he's
Tom Cruise is fantastic in this film.
He's playing two
pickup
characters.
artist.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean he's playing two characters?
Like, not like, as in like he's putting on a character on stage, and he, as soon as someone deconstructs his facade that he puts on, not even deconstructs it, but he just kind of like, I guess a little bit, because she calls him out on a bunch of.
They break away at it. He's having an interview, and they have some information about his past that he didn't want anybody to know, and he's like everything's the mask falls away and stuff, and he's very like vulnerable for a moment, and he doesn't give anything up. But then just like when he goes to see his dying dad, it's like really good performance, man. It's very sad,
and it's
he hates him, but he can't bring himself to like hate him, because all he's ever really wanted is like his love and stuff, he wanted him to be able to just call his mother, his dying mother, and
he left him like, and that's the thing. Another thing is, it happens again. He literally did. His dad dies again on his watch, like he did. Like it is. He scars him one last time. Before it's so like I do, because it's funny to think about like movies in general, right? Because like a lot of the times, movies are a series of like these coincidences, right? I don't know how to describe. We portray situations that we portray in movies they're just so like, they're built of like these scenes that are stuck together, like they're by someone, and it is funny to then kind of acknowledge that in a movie, to say like, these are unusual stories that we kind of tell through movies, what if we kind of acknowledge it, It's, I don't know. It is like, that's the thing. It's just
the crucial part is your interpretation of the events,
Yeah, exactly.
The way you interpret it and the way you read those situations are brought to us by a storyteller. A storyteller, Max.
And we literally talk about the beginning of the movie. It's such a fun scene. The murder, the guy falling off of the building, getting shot while he falls,
Well, it's all about like intent, because at the end of the film you have similar, the host of the game show, the actor's name I can't remember off the top of my head. He's gonna shoot himself in the head, but a frog falls through a skylight and knocks it over, and the shot misses him. It makes him fire, and it knocks him out. But that in turn starts an electrical fire in his house.
Yeah,
which would then presumably kill him while he's unconscious.
Yeah. So
it's like he doesn't end up killing himself, but in the end, like an act of God ends up killing him.
Yeah. It's something that like
turns it into punishment as opposed to like self-infliction, I guess.
Yeah, he wasn't allowed to kind of exit himself. It was it was for God to, or whatever entity to take him out. In a way, and it's such a sad moment. Like film. It's such a like that entire storyline with the host is like so like he tells his
doesn't
wife,
know if he's molested his daughter.
Yeah, and it's so like just like the entire movie sets him up as like he's got cancer. He's like this person that you could say that
he's
like
dying
he's
shortly.
Dying, and it's like it's such a like twist, at the end where you're like your perception of this person immediately switches, because it's like that's the thing. You see his daughter and she's doing all the cocaine and stuff, so you're assuming, right, that's like, oh, this is some like someone on a bandwagon, basically. But in reality, there's this horrible truth behind her reaction, you know, that could have possibly have steered her into the life she's leading now, you know. And it's like,
and he doesn't know whether he did it or not. But you
Yeah.
know what? The movie tells you it did happen.
It did happen, you know, and it doesn't
Zooms
matter.
in on a little slip of paper that says it did happen.
Mm-hmm.
What an interesting film.
Yeah, it's and you also have a music video in the middle in the movie.
There's like 2 different music videos in the film.
You have the scene where they're all like halfway through, they're all singing the song together, and it's just it's like.
And then you also have the bit at the beginning where it's introducing everybody and it's playing "One Is the Loneliest Number." You know,
Yeah, that's true.
as
Yeah.
like good film. Thumbs up. That's number 3 on my Paul Thomas Anderson watch. Max joined in for this one because he wanted to watch Magnolia, and he joined in for the next one too. Punch Drunk Love.
Might as well.
Excuse me.
But
I've seen Punch Drunk Love before. I'm assuming you have not.
No, I have not.
I saw it a while ago,
Yeah,
so I didn't remember a lot of it.
yeah, because you were punch drunk love yourself, and you didn't remember much from those times.
Yes.
Okay.
I was trying to get frequent flyer miles
By buying pudding, yeah.
like the movie. This movie's excellent, man.
Yeah, I really liked it. I like the ending of the movie. Like, it was so funny. I was like, I stood up and I was just like grinning. I was like smiling at the end. I don't know why. I was like so dumb. I felt so like I was like, oh, you know, like I was legit.
It's a very
like,
romantic film. It's a romantic movie. I think that's something that's underappreciated about Paul Thomas Anderson films is that they can be very romantic.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Very
like even
heartwarming in a way.
with Magnolia, you know, J.C. Riley's character, and it's like, you know, it's a pretty, you know, romantic scene in a way. You know, 2 people finding each other and, you know, wanting to be together.
One gives the other the power of Samson from the Bible. You know,
That's
it makes
true.
him stronger. It's
Yeah.
kind of the opposite of. It kind of feels like maybe not an opposite, but it feels like a counter to This Is England. You know, where it's like you just need love in your life, and the love makes you strong, not the hate.
Yeah.
Because
That's
he's so afraid and angry and angry in a directionless way, you know,
Yeah.
or he just gets frustrated, he doesn't know what to do, so he smashes things. But then when he finds love, when he finally attains love, he can protect her with his anger.
Yeah, that's true.
He can go and beat up the 4 blonde guys.
Yeah, the family,
Which is a
all
great
the
scene.
brothers.
Which is a great scene where they ram him with their car and he goes out and he just beats
He
them up.
John Wicks them, yeah. It is, and it's
does.
also really well shot. I really like the way that fight was shot, like where it's like
sure.
he's so like you said, like his anger is so directed that he's able to execute every single move so cleanly. Like he takes them out in like 2 punches. Like there's 4 of them, and he takes them out in 2 punches. You know,
He
like
has power now.
he has so much
strength.
power. And I really like the way the shot they shoot this when they get hit and they're just kind of stationary, you know, and they're spinning, like all the things outside are spinning. Is there's a lot of so many cool visuals in this movie.
Yeah. And it's
like,
a very funny film too.
It's a very funny film, yeah.
No, and it's obviously Adam Sandler, but it's funny in a way that Adam Sandler isn't usually funny.
absolutely.
In that it's like just got really some great slapstick stuff in there. Great like physical comedy, but then like just really great jokes.
Yeah.
The whole premise of being like calling like a sex hotline once and then they start like extorting you for money, you know.
Yeah.
And telling them that you have a girlfriend and they're trying to threaten you, like, we'll tell your girlfriend that you called a sex hotline. He's like, I lied. I don't actually have a girlfriend.
And it's like, that's the thing. The funny thing about that entire situation is that he called the sex line because he just wanted to talk, and she kind of pressured
She kept trying to push it into sex because that's what the hotline is for.
Yeah, exactly.
He clearly just like he's just lonely. It's just about a film about a lonely guy, you know.
Yeah,
but a guy who's also afraid to like break out of his loneliness.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. To open up, you
People
know.
are trying to. He's got all these overbearing sisters and stuff,
Yeah.
They'll call him Gay Boy.
They call him Gay Boy, and
They call
then
him Gay Boy.
they remind him of a constantly. Basically they associate this one thing, this one outburst he had with his entire being, and it drives him insane. Like, and no wonder, honestly, you would be driven insane if whenever someone introduced you. They said, "Oh, remember that time? This is whatever, Bobby. He threw a hammer once through a window, and that was like that's what makes up you, as a."
But
person.
it's like it's all on him at the end of the day because he can't process his own emotions.
Yeah, he can't process
because there's so many things that people ask him about, and he just actively chooses not to elaborate on them.
That's
he just
true.
tries to get because he doesn't want people talking or paying attention to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but in reality, if somebody asked him questions like that, it would take like one sentence to explain.
Yeah. But at the same time, sometimes
movie,
you don't want to tell people stuff, and people.
Yeah, but for him,
into
it's
you.
to a fault. Is the point?
Yeah.
For him, there's a reason why he is struggling in life is because he can't make connections with people.
Yeah.
People he does weird stuff, and then people ask him about his weird stuff, and he just tries to change the subject like immediately all the time.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like his interactions with people caused him to withdraw, basically,
Sure, yeah.
It could be the idea of cause and effect, you see his family, which is kind of abusive in a way, it is very, like there is that situation at the beginning of the movie, every single one of his sisters call him, and he's at work, and he's like telling them like, I'm working, like, he doesn't have to elaborate on that fact, but they ask him to elaborate. And I get that fact that like you could explain within a sentence what he's doing, but he would have to elaborate 7 times to after each one of his sisters call him, and it's really like, and I feel like that culminates, that kind of relationship he has with him culminates with that phone call he has in Hawaii, which is a funny scene, but at the same time, it is an explosion, that he has, where he's like, could you give me this number of this woman that you wanted me to meet? Like and she refuses to, like he's like, he just stops being nice. Like he stops being, and he's just like, please, just fucking give me the call. Please, just do it. He's just so frustrated. You could like kind of feel the frustration, that was building up in him, like you literally asked me to like hang out with this woman, and you wouldn't do this, just do it.
It's a fantastic performance from Adam Sandler.
And like speaking of
magnificent stuff.
Yeah, and just like, it's just a great movie, and like that scene where the brothers kidnap him and then make him withdraw whatever, like $500 or something. Yeah, he can't it's like they do this. They're in Ohio or whatever. I don't know, Utah, and they drive all the way to for $500. Yeah, and he runs away from them after they like punch him, and it's such a like fun scene. Like it's like it turns into like this noir film for a second, like when he's like the shadow is like running ahead of him. It's like
there's some really good
and he's just like
work with shadow in this film.
Yeah,
there's a good scene when Adam Sandler and what's it, is it Laura, right? It's not Laura, is it? What's his love interest called? God damn it. Why am I always so unprepared?
I forgot.
Unstrunk Love. Where is it? Lena.
Mm-hmm.
Emily Watson's character, Lena. They're running towards each other, but there's like shadows of people like picking up speed on the wall behind them and stuff, as they run towards each other. There's just lots of lovely, just a beautiful film. Just a beautiful, excellent film.
Yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman is so funny in it.
Yeah.
He's
so
fantastic.
Like sleazy guy.
Disgusting guy, just constantly swearing and raging at people. Yeah, good movie.
yeah.
I'm glad you watched it.
Yeah, it
The
was
next
fun.
one I need to watch is There Will Be Blood, and you've already seen that one.
I already
You can
seen
watch
that.
it again if you feel like it. But
I
I'll be
don't
rewatching
know. I don't know, man. I've got other important movies to watch, like Laser Blast.
Yeah.
It was recommended to me by someone because I
don't
told
know
them
what
I
Laser
watched
Blast is. I don't think I've ever
watched
heard
garbage movies, and they said, "Oh, you should watch Laser Blast." And Laser Blast,
Blast film. Okay. All right.
was
The original sci-fi classic.
yeah.
Images is telling me.
It's really bad. Like I feel like there is. I've heard about this movie before. I've especially seen the cover. Like the cover, like that's what stuck with me is because of the poster, whatever you want to call it, right? Of this guy that's like looks manic on the thing, and he's got like this weapon that he fires, and this movie has like it is kind of like a known, like, oh, this is a bad movie, you should watch it, so bad, and it's really bad. It's not worth watching, even for the idea of like if you like bad movies, it feels like this movie, they had like the script for this movie was like, I don't know, a page or something, and they were like, now we have to do fucking 80 minutes of filler so we can make it feature length, so like there are like no themes in this movie. The entire thing is like this guy finds a alien weapon and he goes insane from it, right? That's the idea. And that's it. That's the idea they had in this movie.
Right, cool.
That was the only singular thought that the creators had, and they were like, "This is gonna drive the movie." This one idea, and it's not good, basically. And I get this movie also has like there's probably a story behind it. I haven't looked it up, but there's multiple kind of like stabs at Star Wars, as in like laughing at Star Wars sort of thing. And I was like, I don't know, it feels so dumb for it too. On top of that, the idea is like, oh, Star Wars is so lame, like we're better than Star Wars,
So much better.
Oh yeah, we're so. There's literally a scene where he shoots a sign that says Star Wars on it.
That's sick,
the laser gun. That's
awesome.
It's so fucking dumb, and yeah, it's. I don't know. It was a difficult watch. I've watched a lot of garbage that's just is recommended to me on Amazon Prime.
So this is one of the worst, maybe. This
is one of the ones that I was like, I am actively fighting myself from turning this off.
Okay. Well,
I feel like
I won't be looking up stinkers.
If
I won't be looking up Laser Blast.
The guy who works, who
like
plays the main character, looks very similar to Kinski, and I was like, this movie would be so fun.
Is that why you watched it? You were like,
kind of.
It's kind of like a Klaus Kinski film.
Yeah, but if it was Kinski, I think this movie would be 300 times better. But it's some like no-name production that made it, so there was probably no way. But the guy looks so close to what Kinski looks like. He has a face, the type of face, that Kinski has. That I was like, maybe it will be good. And I watched it. I was like, I don't know. This fucking shit sucks ass, But yeah, I don't know. That was me watching a bunch of really good movies and then closing off on Laser Blast, which I love doing,
Yeah.
You
a palate cleanser.
A palate cleanser.
Ready for the new week.
A palate cleanser of just eating a dab of shit at the end of a meal, A really good meal.
Yeah.
Just to not raise your standards, I guess.
Maybe
that's
a palate waster.
Palate waster, yeah. Or I guess it's like, I'm so flying high, I'm flying high. I'm like, oh, all these good movies, and I have to bring myself down, grounds me,
Yeah.
It's like, it's hard to make a good movie, actually. But on top of that, I've been playing shit ton of Death Stranding. I don't know. Wow, that's it. What about you? Do you want to add anything?
I watched the Minecraft movie.
Forgot about
that. This movie is so divisive.
Can we get a really good from you, because you got a really good voice? Flint and Steel and Chicken Jockey. No, do it over.
Flint and Steel, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken Jockey, like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those. Oh, I bumped my pop filter. That's not.
Oh
good.
no,
a pencil. Oops.
That's not. Why'd you have a pencil?
Tapping noise. I'm just fiddling with it.
Are you taking
notes?
Fiddle with
Are
you right? Are you taking notes about what we're saying?
No, I wrote down bein as a potential title so I don't forget it. Anyway. This movie's really divisive. I'm seeing lots of people who watch maybe like 3 films a year say that this is one of the worst films ever made.
Yeah,
it's completely fine. This is bringing up the old argument that people have where they're like, this movie is terrible. Kids deserve better movies, you know? Kids shouldn't be watching shitty, terrible movies like this. But it's only really bad if you're like an adult. I think kids would love this film.
Yeah. It's like, you know,
okay, this is like, it's silly, it's fun. It's not got loaded with like pop culture references, really. It's just like the one Minecraft references all the time, you know?
Yeah, it's not like, I think like a lot of people are too used to the idea of like, this kid movie is like for kids, but it has some stuff for adults.
I think
like
people are
me,
starting to get
know?
a bit too. They're starting to forget what a regular kids movie is
Yeah,
like.
exactly. You know,
there's too much like adults who watch Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and go, "This is the most realistic depiction of a panic attack I've ever seen."
mm-hmm. Which is
where it's
untrue.
like, look, it's good for kids to have good content. But it's not a big deal if kids have bad or mediocre content as well.
Yeah.
Because they're not watching movies 24/7. They watch a movie. Sometimes they get obsessed with a good one. Sometimes they get obsessed with a bad one. You really can't guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It just happens. It just is what it is sometimes. Sometimes a kid becomes obsessed with a movie that kind of sucks. They watch it 8 times in a day. And then you know what else they do? They go play outside.
Yeah.
They go and like
outside.
They watch cartoons and they play video games. They play outside and they draw pictures and they have fun. So it's fine if a kid has a movie that's kind of bad. It's honestly good that kids have movies that are also kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Because then when you're an adult, you look at it again and you're like, wow, this stuff was so bad. I can't believe I was loving this.
And I feel like, it's just age appropriate stuff, Like that's the thing. Like people are like, it's just like fucking kids should be watching, like kid stuff,
Like I get it's funny
from
you
time
and
to
all
time,
You and all your friends on your Discord group all go out and see it in the theater and you scream and yell chicken jockey and stuff and it's like. And I get it. It's like this is one of the worst movies ever made because it's Minecraft and it looks kind of ass and stuff. But it's really not that deep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People are making a big deal out of it. It's really not that deep. It's like a perfect. I'll be honest. I don't think it was bad. I think I was kind of entertained by it in some aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Coolidge's really minor storyline in it is very funny.
Well,
because Jennifer Coolidge is a very, very funny lady.
Mm-hmm.
You know the lady she marries, she hits the villager with her car, and then she goes on a date with the villager?
No, I don't. I haven't watched the movie. I know I don't
watch
clips on Twitter.
Clips came out. I don't know. Maybe not even this Twitter. I'm just saying, like maybe on whatever social media.
Because I don't go on social media.
Your ass goes on Reddit.
I go on Reddit, but I look at news mostly. I just brainwash myself with news mostly. I doom scroll news sites mostly.
There's a funny storyline where a villager gets out and he gets hit by Jennifer Coolidge. He walks out on the road and he gets hit by Jennifer Coolidge's car and she takes him to a restaurant and they go on a date and they fall in love. It's very funny.
That's good,
Her performance is very, very stupid.
Mm-hmm. It's a very hard performance because there's nothing there. It's just CGI,
It's fine. People are too used to like this kids movie has to be deeper than a kids movie so I can enjoy it. But it's like sometimes you don't need to enjoy the kids movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything has to be Bluey, where it's like, oh, this is good for adults too. I'm an adult and I'm also enjoying Bluey.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, kids can have their own films that kind of suck and aren't too great, but are also like fine. Kids enjoy it, so it's okay.
Yeah. I'm just gonna have, because like when I have kids, I'm gonna put like Star Trek on the TV.
Yeah, when I have kids, I'm gonna make sure that all of the content they consume is entirely like is
deep.
Something that is deeper than it should be.
Yeah.
Deeper than it needs to be. Even.
Yeah, exactly. And then I walk out and then come back and the episode where Diana gets assaulted by the mind rapist comes on. You're like, no, not this one. I forgot about this one. I should turn this off. You shouldn't be watching this.
The movie.
And the movie too.
It happens.
I forgot
the show and the movies.
Yeah, the writers really like to explore that angle, don't they?
Hold on 1 second. My throat feels like it's getting all hoarse now.
Mm-hmm.
We should have had some water or something.
Does the villager go, "Aww"?
Yes, that's why it's funny, because she's saying sentences and he keeps going, "Aww."
Yeah.
It's funny. But then even then, the main storyline with Jack, it's like a really straightforward story. There's a MacGuffin. There's villains who want the MacGuffin, and the good guys need the MacGuffin as well. Mm-hmm. There's a big battle at the end. Mm-hmm. Then it ends.
And then it's gone.
And then it ends. They go back home, and there's an epilogue where they're all like, "We had so much fun on our adventure. Everybody's so happy, happily ever after." And it's like, yeah, all right. Yeah. This is a movie for children.
Thank you, Jack Black.
This is, as I assumed it would be, it is about as good as those Sonic movies are. And everybody loves those Sonic movies. So I don't understand what the Minecraft movie problem is.
I don't know, man. I feel like...
Because it's got a chicken jockey in it, right? Everybody hates the chicken jockey. That being said, now I saw it completely legally and normally, and I definitely saw it with all of the effects finished.
Yeah.
And I definitely did not see it with intrusive Indian gambling ads cut into the movie. But
only a psychopath would do that.
If I went to one of those screenings with all the like teenagers and stuff that are screaming and jumping in the air and throwing shit everywhere, I don't think I would ever go to a movie theater again.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the parent who's like, I'm going to take my kid to see the Minecraft movie, and they go, and there's like 22-year-old like streamers and stuff.
Oh, they're
all
streaming.
got their phones out with their TikToks recording when he goes, "I am Steve," and then everybody goes, "Yes, fuck yes, fuck yes." Yes! Screaming in my toddler's face.
Yeah.
Just picking him up, going, "That's Steve! That's fucking Steve!"
Leave my child alone. They're dragging you away from your child. No. Yeah. No.
No. Yeah. Get help, Jeremy! Get help!
Get out!
They're pulling me away, Jeremy!
It cuts to him, and he's got the child, his jaw unhinged, and he's eating him one.
They adopt him. The crowd of Minecraft teens adopt him like Furiosa.
And we come back full circle into This Is England.
So true. If you've got
he gets a broccoli haircut instead of a skinhead,
If you've got a 4 to 11-year-old who likes Minecraft, show them the Minecraft movie. They'll probably have a good time. They'll kill like an hour and a half, maybe even another hour and a half. If they really enjoy it, they'll probably want to watch it again. Kids love watching movies like 3 or 4
repeated,
times.
I can attest to that. I think I watched the Hercules VHS tape like it was on constantly. I don't know why. The Disney Hercules was so good.
I can't remember what mine was, but my older brother watched The Mask like 8 times.
Oh god, that's annoying.
And I had a friend in primary school who, when the Yu-Gi-Oh movie came out, he watched that like 8 times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Because I
I
said,
can't remember if I had one. I definitely would have had
I
one.
had
but I can't remember what it would
Hercules and Space Jam, and I don't want to talk about Space Jam again because that brings back bad memories of Ben from last episode. But anyway,
be. Was it Space Jam related, the comment?
yes, it was.
I do not remember. I can't remember what the punchline was.
He doesn't even know,
it was
guys.
a classic
He doesn't even know,
stupid
guys.
joke about Polish people on light bulbs, which again I formally apologized for, and I seek forgiveness.
And
I only hope that someday I can be
It
forgiven.
was Space Jam, Hercules, and Sex Mission, which is an insane combo
That's
to have for a
the
trial.
last one should not be in there.
It's fine. I came out all right at the end of it, when you think about it.
You do have an obsession with Bush.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know if you came out all right. You are making
fine.
this show, so who knows if you came out all right.
What does it
And
mean about
before-
you then? If you're on the show with me?
I was just about to say, I mean that against myself as well. Mm-hmm. There's evidence that we're not well adjusted just by the fact that we are making this every week.
Yeah, and nobody's watching it. We keep making it. We keep making it. It's some sort of disorder would be associated with that. I feel like someone should classify that. Some psychiatrist out there should fucking study this shit.
Yeah, I think I know what it's called. I think it's called being a straight white guy addicted to making podcasts. Can I get an amen?
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to our podcast, Dead Ensigns. You can email us, deadensigns@gmail.com. If you don't want to email us, you can go to YouTube and leave a comment on the most recent upload of the podcast, where you can also subscribe and save. But maybe you're not a YouTube kind of person. Maybe you want to use Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, or many other podcasting apps. You can go to any of them and look up Dead Ensigns, and you can save and favorite, rate, and review or whatever you get, and then listen to it there too. So, thanks for listening. I am Ben. Right now, you do it and say, "I am Max."
I am Ben.
No, okay, all right. You always got to be so irreverent, don't you? You always got to be so fucking like, there's a punchline set up, but I'm gonna go the other way with it. They're not gonna expect that I'm intentionally fucking it up.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm just kind of.
You think you're like a master of alt comedy or something?
I'm just kind of a chicken jockey. Chicken jockey. Steel.
You should turn off the podcast like 16 seconds ago if you didn't already.
Steel. Chicken jogger. Chicken.
It's shorted out, sir. We're gonna have to phaser it.
Then what are you waiting for?
Right away, sir.
Faster would be better, Ensign.
I can't, sir. We don't want to...
That's enough.
But, sir...
Stand aside, Carlton. I'm going through. You're alive. Good.